Have you ever heard of a place where, even today, as night falls, the echoes of hundreds of women seem to drift through the air? A place where history is so heavy it refuses to stay in the past. Tonight we travel to the heart of Rajasthan, India, to explore one of the most haunting legends in the world, the ghostly whispers of Chittagong Fort. Stretching nearly 3 miles across a high plateau, Chittagong is more than just a fort. It's a city of ruins, a testament to centuries of Rajput valor, sacrifice, and undying pride. Its colossal stone walls have witnessed epic battles and moments of incredible bravery. But within this sprawling monument lies a place with a darker, more sorrowful story: the ruins of Rana Kumbha Palace. By day, it's a popular tourist destination, a beautiful maze of weathered stone and grand courtyards. But by night, some say it becomes something else entirely, a place where the past isn't just remembered, it's relived. Our story begins in the year 1303. The powerful and ambitious Sultan of Delhi, Alauddin Khilji, set his sights on Chittagong. Driven by tales of its immense wealth and the legendary beauty of its queen, Rani Padmini, he laid siege to the fortress. For 8 long months, the Rajput warriors of Chittagong, led by King Rowell Ratan Singh, fiercely defended their home. They fought with a courage that would become legendary, but the Sultan's army was vast and relentless. As supplies dwindled and their forces thinned, the defenders realized that defeat was no longer a possibility, but an inevitability. Faced with the grim reality of capture and the subsequent dishonor that awaited the women of the court, Queen Padmini made an unimaginable decision. It was a choice born of desperation and immense courage, a final act of defiance against their conquerors. She would lead the women of Chittagong in the ancient fiery ritual of Jahar. Jahar was not suicide. It was a collective act of self-immolation, a way for royal women to protect their honor from enemy hands. Within the palace grounds, in a vast underground chamber, a massive pyre was constructed. As enemy forces finally breached the fort's main gates, the sounds of battle drawing closer, a procession began. Queen Padmini, along with approximately 700 other Rajput women, from noble ladies to their attendants, emerged from the palace. They were not dressed for mourning, but for a wedding. Adorned in their finest bridal red, chanting ancient hymns, they walked with solemn purpose toward the roaring flames. One by one they stepped into the fire, choosing a fiery end over a life of subjugation. The sky above Chittagong filled with thick black smoke, and a deafening, unnatural silence fell over the fort. The men, seeing the signal of the Johor, then performed soccer, donning saffron robes and riding out for one final fatal charge against the enemy, fighting to the last man. When Khilji's forces finally entered the palace, they found nothing but ash and silence. Today, more than 700 years later, the weight of that day still hangs heavy in the air. Visitors who explore the broken corridors and empty chambers of Rana Kumbha Palace often speak in hushed voices, as if instinctively knowing they walk on sacred, sorrowful ground. But it's as darkness settles over the arid landscape that the atmosphere truly changes. The palace, once a symbol of life and royalty, takes on a chilling, melancholic energy. Local guides and fort guards have shared stories for generations, tales that make the hair on your arms stand up. Many have reported hearing faint crying and mournful wails carried on the desert wind, especially near the underground vaults believed to be the site of the Jahar. Tourists, even those who arrive as skeptics, often leave with an unsettling feeling. Many have claimed to experience sudden, inexplicable drops in temperature, a chilling cold that seeps into your bones, even on a warm Rajasthani evening. These cold spots are most frequently reported around the entrance to the Jahar Kundi, the subterranean chamber where the pyre once burned. But perhaps the most unnerving accounts are the visual ones. People claim to have seen fleeting figures in the periphery of their vision, the ethereal silhouettes of women in red saris, their attire appearing scorched and tattered. They are said to move silently and gracefully through the ruins, gliding through archways before vanishing into solid stone walls. What makes these alleged encounters so profoundly sad is their nature. The spirits of Chittagong are not said to be malevolent or aggressive. They don't scream loudly or attack those who wander into their domain. Instead, they are described as being lost, wandering aimlessly through the palace that was once their home. It's as if they are trapped in a loop, reliving the final, terrifying moments before they stepped into the flames, their collective sorrow forever imprinted on the location. Their presence is one of deep, unending grief, a quiet echo of a choice made centuries ago. This lingering energy has a tangible effect on those who live and work at the fort. Many local guides will politely refuse to take visitors to certain areas of the Rana Kumbha Palace after sunset. They say the silence there feels different, not empty, but filled with an unseen presence. It's a heavy, oppressive silence that feels charged with emotion. They respect the history and the spirits they believe still reside there, choosing not to disturb their eternal, sorrowful vigil. While there are official explanations, of course, the power of these personal experiences is hard to dismiss. Skeptics will naturally argue that it's all just a product of imagination. They'll say it's the power of suggestion, fueled by the dramatic and tragic history of the fort. The wind whistling through crumbling archways can sound like a cry. The play of shadows at dusk can create figures that aren't really there. And the sheer weight of knowing what happened here is enough to influence anyone's perception, making them feel or see things that are simply a manifestation of their own mind. And they might be right. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but there are others, many others, who believe something more is at play. They believe that an event of such intense emotion, of such profound sacrifice and pain, leaves an indelible energy signature on a place, an energetic scar that time cannot heal. They argue that the very stones of the palace absorb the sorrow and terror of that day, and that walls which have witnessed such trauma can, in a way, remember. And perhaps, on certain nights, when the desert wind moves through the palace ruins in just the right way, it doesn't just make noise. It carries with it the echoes of a moment that changed history forever. So if you ever find yourself visiting the magnificent Chittagong Fort, I encourage you to stay a little later. As the sun dips below the horizon and the crowds begin to fade, find a quiet spot within the ancient stones of Ranakumbha Palace. Stand there, be still, and just listen. The night in Rajasthan is very, very quiet. But sometimes, in that profound stillness, you might hear more than just the wind. Because sometimes, the silence remembers. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into one of India's most haunting legends. What do you believe? Is it history, or is it something more? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more tales from the world's most mysterious places. Thanks for watching.